Okay, awesome. Well, welcome to our call. It is April 30th, which is a very, very magical day in my life because that is my sissy's birthday. So I know magical for all of us that know her. So my mommy just waved. So happy birthday, Morgan. We can all let's just start out the call actually with a happy birthday. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna unmute everybody and spotlight Morgan. Hold on. Nothing like that. All right, let's spotlight Morgan. One of our 100-pound club winners. It was at the ICU event and they were celebrating that. Are you there with us, Morgan?
I am.
All right, everybody is unmuted.
I started.
Oh, my volume. All right, let's do happy birthday on 3. 1, 2,
happy birthday to mommy.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy
Happy birthday.
I'm gonna make my microphone work.
Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday.
That's the worst.
Well, that was awful. We can tell we're not all singers here, so thank golly for that our incomes don't depend on that, right, and helping other people. So we just got back from ICU, so many of us. Morgan, I'll take you off spotlight since you're eating your strawberries on your birthday. So there we go on the recording. We're not just watching you eat the whole time your strawberries. And oh my gosh, I was so reminded just about the mission business that Isagenix is, and I just feel more revitalized. I know, we're going to hear from some people that were there to really, go in what this is all about, and so many takeaways. But one of my favorite takeaways was, this is a mission business, and we're building a kingdom, and just how many people, need us and that are praying for Isagenix on every single, solution that we offer. And sometimes it can, I know sometimes, I can get either lazy or thinking that it's not a huge deal, or, thinking that I'm next to somebody and I don't say something when I should have. And it's like, my gosh, like how selfish of me, or what a huge thing to let my ego get in the way, and not at least give somebody the option to join this incredible ISOLife, that so many of us have, that's blessing us in so many areas. And so oh my gosh, I know for the people that were there, I just want to say, I know Tori, Melina, and Mandy, you guys all drove like 10 hours for the event. And I know, think about that, like Glenn, staying home with the newborn baby, so that you could go because you guys see the vision. And, thinking about, I don't know if Hannah is on here, Hannah just getting started and driving, basically 9 hours too from South Carolina. Like during her first week, she made the decision to get to an ICU because she saw what this could do for her family. And, just thinking about that and knowing what events do. And, so I was just so excited. So way to go, guys, for driving that far to get in front. And I know you would say it was absolutely worth it and you would do it all over again. When I was there, there was 3 people and they were missing their children's birthday to be there. One girl was missing her child's first birthday to be at that event because she knows that missing that one day that they can celebrate that, because she says, I have to give my children everything that they deserve. And I knew that being here on their first birthday was actually setting up their life. And, but that is, it's the challenges, right? The sacrifices of the balancing and everything. But when you're so crystal clear on a vision of what you want for yourself and where you're going and what your mission is, and aligned with that, and, Jim and Kathy speaking, and just Jim Coover really going over just oh my gosh, all the love and thought and all the years of dealing with BS in companies or greed and all that, and Kathy Coover going to the top in 3 companies and always being let down, and how they just structured it to be the ambassadors in the network marketing industry. And Jessica Reiner Rigner, however, I don't know, she's my new girl crush. I know we all fell in love with her. And she actually worked in network marketing and built with compensation plans. Like her corporate career was working in compensation plans in network marketing. And she's like, you guys just don't understand. You have the Rolls Royce. And if it's your first company, like you just take it for granted in a sense, because you just don't know what it is that you're sitting on. And somebody like her that's, been in it her whole life and was like, I'm never even going to touch it. Then she sees the Isagenix product in the comp plan, and now she, has even left her corporate career. She's fostering children, and just being reminded of that, of people who really had nothing that saw what this was and worked their way up, or via if it's somebody that, you don't have to have it per se, you're sitting comfortable, but you see the whole vision of, like I said, just, really not only impacting your own family's life with residual income for more and choices, but others as well. So I want us to hear from Randall and LaDonna. I know so many of us have watched them just go. They've just gone. And, they have introduced incredible souls like Dustin and Megan, who are also at the event, and Cindy. I'll save the celebrations for that, and Carissa, and so many people that came. And they work it, you guys. They work it. They see the vision. I don't know how they do what they do. They're the most systemized, organized people I've ever met. They are just rocking their enrollments. And just share. I mean, you guys, you qualified individual for team with the championship cruise. I mean, you have like 113 enrollments with just a little over a year that you've done personally. Like, what's the secret? What are you doing? And why are you so fired up to work this every single second of the day? You're unmuted.
Oh, okay. We're sharing, so we don't have that sound stuff going on.
Yay! Uh-oh, they're sharing. They're each other's healthiest competition. I can tell you that. It's been fun watching you guys.
So how do we do what we do? Well, today I didn't even comb my hair. I was busy working all day. We actually enrolled several people while we were driving to the event, to the airport. While we were at the events always get us like super motivated and fired up. So I think we enrolled like 4 people while we were on our way to the event and on our way home from the event. We were up until midnight last night doing like the last enrollment. I mean, we just do every single day. There's like nothing special that we do. We just do it. We show up to work every day, even if it's, 15 minutes one day, an hour the next day, because he's got such a crazy schedule and I have to volunteer with his military unit. So I do a lot of volunteer work, but I mean, whenever I can fit in some time, I fit in some time. And starting out, I was working full time as a registered nurse, but again, I would every morning driving to work, I would listen to an ISA podcast and just learn something about the product. On my lunch break, I'd go to my car. I would either learn something or do a call. I'd be doing a 3-way with Casey, or my bathroom breaks. I had a lot of those, and I hid in the bathroom and just, answered my text messages and connecting with people, hiding in the bathroom. Like whenever I could find time to work, I just squeeze it in everywhere, because I don't want to be working 12-hour shifts for the rest of my life. My back hurts, my feet hurt, everything hurts, and that's my motivation. I just want to be home. This is the first year. I've been a mom for 19 years. This is the first year I have been the drive-through mom that gets to drop her kid off at school, be there at 3 o'clock in the drive-through line, picking the kid up from school. I get to go to lunch with her if I want, field trips. And that's the first time in 19 years. That's huge motivation for me, because I want to be there and be able to do that until she graduates. She's in 1st grade. We started all over again. So I'm just thankful that I can, be there for her this time around. I wasn't there for the oldest one. I was always working.
LaDonna, I remember when we sat down and, I showed you everything. I drew out the comment. That was something that we heard from every single leader too. are you showing the income to people? Are you talking about the opportunity? Are you like halving the Isagenix vision? Are you comfortable with that opportunity? Like how many people have financial pain? You know, and you guys do amazing. I mean, Randall, you know, my gosh, you've just definitely worked your way up, and, you know, in the military, I mean, you've got a great career. You guys make good money. But when I sat down with you, you said, whatever it takes. You said, I'm an Isagenix millionaire. Like that was it. And, you know, that might not be everyone's goal on here to do that, but I mean, it was you. I saw it in you, and you know, you're introverted, you're shy, you're quiet, you know, like you're not like this, you know, out there going person. So it's like, how have you kind of like maybe forced yourself to be a little bit more extrovert per se, or, you know, like, I mean, you're just.
Yeah, I just force myself. I mean, I still don't enjoy being an extrovert. I'm just a situational extrovert. And I started very basic. Like I would make myself just talk to one new person a day. If I was at the grocery store, I would force myself to just say hi to one person. I used to never talk to anyone. When I started this business, I talked to no one unless I was at work and had to talk to my patients. So I just started really small, like, okay, today I'm going to talk to one person. You know, tomorrow I'm going to try and talk to 2 people that I've never talked to. And that wasn't like about the business. It was like, I'm just going to talk to some lady at the store and tell her her shoes look really cool. You know, so it was just forcing myself every single day to get out of my comfort zone. And by practicing that, now I can talk to pretty much anyone. I mean, I might not know what to say, but I'll try. But so, I mean, I'm still learning. I just started this a year ago. So, I mean, I was a very, very introverted, shy person for 39 years, you know, so Ionix helps. Let's say, you know, I overdose on that every day, but
Love it.
it definitely helps with like my anxiety level. Just being on the program just really reduced my social anxiety. Not that we cure, treat, or prevent anything.
Throwing that disclaimer in, like it.
But,
Oh,
yeah,
I mean, killing it. And then I know too, even in the beginning, Randall, you're like, okay, that's LaDonna's thing. You know, she's going to do it. Go, babe, go. Awesome. I'm kind of doing, you know, my own thing. I know a lot of us kind of know your product story a little bit, but like what happened? Like, when did you see like the vision of like, okay, like this, I'm going to team up with you and we're going to do this. Like,
so what I would say is, you know, I kind of pushed her out the door because, you know, I talked to Mike and Mike was like, Casey's a millionaire. I'm like, we're getting some of that. So I immediately was like, LaDonna, get Casey's information and get your butt out the door and let's get this thing going. But I really, you know, again, I was a skeptic. And so to be honest with you, you know, we're married, we bicker. We're polar opposites, which is probably why it works. So I'm extroverted, she's not. And what I think the light bulb switched on with me was I went through that standard, you know, hey, what are you doing? You know, you're taking all this time away from me, jealousy type thing when she first got on board. And then, you know, I just started thinking about it. I was like, well, you know, there's no better way to you know, do this thing together, basically is what I decided to do. I was like, you know, if this is going to work, and I'm going to support her, it's 100%, you know, I mean, who doesn't like money anyway? So I was like, I'm going to, you know, if one's good, 2 is better, right? You know, 2 is 1, 1 is none. And so I was like, you know, I'm going to get on board. I'm going to start building it with her because it's a way that we can spend time together and you know, do this thing together, because otherwise we're just going to resent each other. For, you know, I'm going to resent her because she's not spending enough time with me, and she'll resent me because I'm not supporting her dreams, you know, and she's been following me around the military all these years. And so I think that was huge. And I think I made that decision in probably maybe 2 months in-ish. And then it became, I'm going to beat you.
Competition.
So it became, which I think makes us stronger. I mean, we bicker, but you know, that's, I mean, there's so many role models in this company that I can, you know, that we've been able to pull, you know, just techniques and, you know, things off of to learn from. And anybody starting out, I would just say, you know, oh my God, just be an open sponge. I mean, I absolutely love this company for, you know, the self-development prospects that you can get. I mean, I've been, you know, I'm a voracious reader. I never would have read the things that I've read and developed myself the way that I have developed myself so far had I not done this, had I not taken this opportunity and invested in myself. You know, everything from, you know, recently it blew me away. I hadn't read it yet, but it was Go Giver. Highly recommend it. If you haven't read that book, go out and read it. Just because it puts everything into perspective on, you know, yes, this is an income producing business, but it's about providing value, more value than you take from something in the world. And it's really just seeing that vision of how can I make this place better, and it's not about me. It's about helping other people, you know, reach their goals. And you know, it motivates the heck out of us. You know, and again, I've heard other people say this, but it's not rocket science. It's not it's not parlor tricks. It's doing simple things. I mean, everything we do is simple. Everybody does it. I just force myself every single day, regardless of what's going on, to stay in action, to reach out, to do the posts, to learn about how to use my social media, learn about how to integrate myself. And 9 times out of 10, like this week, perfect storm, I had just been in action, constant action. And all of a sudden, you know, people started, hey, what's going on? I'm interested. What do you got? I'm interested.
You guys did $800 in PIVs this week, traveling.
Yeah, absolutely. So the light bulb came on for me, you know, particularly during the ICU, was I had been, you know, it's all about, you know, your stance and how you project yourself. And I was hesitant to reach out and get people into that, you know, let's start you with the value pack. Let's talk the business. And so I did that when I started. You know, a lot of people will come to these, like we did at Celebration. A lot of people will come to these and kind of like, I'm going to take a break from my business to learn. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I take the opposite approach of I'm going to apply these lessons I'm learning. You know, one class down, I'm going to apply that lesson right now. So I will I'll take notes, I'll get on the social media, and I'll apply the lesson right now, so that literally while the conference is going on, I start getting contacted by people like, hey, I want to join. Hey, I want to join. What do you got? I hear this stuff going on. And we just stay in action. We just, you know, perfect storm a lot of times of all of it coming together at one time. So, you know, just.
If you're unmuted, if you could mute, hold on, all right, there we go, found it. All right, keep going.
Yeah, so it's just, it's staying, you know, mastering the mundane, learning from everybody you can learn from. And, you know, we still have a long way to go. I learned something. I took pages and pages of notes while we were out there. Obviously hugely motivational. I got to see people that I've been, you know, all these people in these little boxes, Tom Barron, I finally got to say hi to him, you know, in person, give him a man hug. You know, it's just really cool to be able to see everybody. You know? And of course, for us, the most exciting thing about that was we had team members, you know, that showed up from all over the place, and we're loving that. We're loving the fact that we're starting to build a team, and we can't wait to see what everybody does. So it's a huge blessing for us, and you know, just love it. And of course, thanks to you, Casey, for showing the way and giving us this opportunity.
Oh my gosh, it's been so, it's just so fun to watch people like get it and grow, and I mean, be in action like you guys are. But like Randall, like where do you find the time? Like you work a lot, like you're up at like 4 a.m., you're out of the house at like 5, sometimes probably even earlier, like you're not coming home till 8. Like how the heck are you like enrolling all these people? Where do you find the time?
So, you know, again, it's the backside. I do the post. I use Buffer a lot. So I will schedule my time. I have to be organized because I don't have a lot of time. So I will do posts in Buffer. I'll send them out. And then what I'll do is I literally check every break I get at work, because I want this to happen so much for us. Every time I'm going to break at work, I call it checking the traps. I'll go in there. Hey, did I get any hits? Did anybody like my posts? What do I need to do? I'll look on there. And then I'll respond to a couple of them. Then I'll go back. I'll come back at lunch. I eat at lunch. I don't leave. You know, I normally do my third meal is lunch, and so I'll sit at my desk at work. I never go out to eat. I will sit at my desk at work, and I will do posts. I will get in there and get in action. I'll do, you know, IPAs during my lunch break. I'll shut that off. I'll get back to work. I will generally schedule my call so that I've had about an hour. Once I get home, it's usually around 7 o'clock, and I will get into a phone call almost every night. I'll get into a call when I get home, and then or while I'm driving home from work. I just, you know, it's, you know, kind of, I forget exactly who said it, but they were like, you know, she said I enrolled 150 people. I can't remember who was saying it at the conference, but she was like, but I started with 5,000 contacts, you know, to get that percentage of folks to talk at. And that truly resonated with me. It's the 80% time spent on prospecting, because because some of those prospects are going to turn into my business builders, you know, and that's what happened. Literally on the way home from the airport, I had a guy call me, text me, and I build on LinkedIn primarily. And he's like, hey, I saw what you're doing. What do you got going on? Can you talk right? He's in Korea right now. Called me and I was like, hey, yeah, you know, I did the standard, you know, the phone conversation. But I led, you know, it was this stance I took, the projection I took, and I'm like, you need to get in with the value pack. It's the best way to go. You know, do you know 2 people that eat? And he's like, yeah, I know like tons of people. And he called me back in like 15 minutes and had 3 people ready to sign up. He had already sent me their credit card information over, you know, and I was like, oh my God, I love you. Like, and you never know when that opportunity is going to happen. So I never refuse a phone call ever. I've done phone calls for, you know, people in the business that are not financially linked to me. I firmly believe in that you take the opportunity, never say no, take the opportunities as they come, because you just never know what's going to happen.
You know, it's when you're in that, you know, initial phase, I mean, it takes that, you know, just like too, if you feel like you're ever hitting momentum, you know, I know that they said like, that's the time to even like, you know, full throttle it a little bit more. And it's like, you know, my gosh, and I even saw my friend there, her daughter's battling cancer, and she was at that event, you know, and it was just like, because she's like, I love that I haven't had to worry about being with my daughter this year. And it's like, Isagenix gave me that, and I know I need that recharge. And it's just that things are, you know, always happening for us, but it's, you know, when you, in Isagenix, when you can have that constant feed of what you're creating right now, like long-term, from support to people, to the finances, to the time, all of that comes from going, you know, full throttle. It's just so worth it. You guys have some questions, in here, so I'm gonna ask you guys. And you know, it just seems so easy. Like, oh, this guy enrolled, and he like sends me 3 people's credit card. But it's like, you have built up for that. You guys have been working it and showing and talking about it. And it's just, you know, harvesting. There's seed sowing time and harvesting. So this question is for LaDonna. What advice would you have for a LaDonna trying to convince a Randall right now? I told LaDonna, I said, girl, just let him come. Just let him watch. Don't even try to convince his bud. Let him see. What did you do, LaDonna?
She was like, oh, just leave it alone. I was like, I don't got time to leave it alone. I said, I need to be a millionaire like now. So I put the pressure on, which that might not work in every marriage. I mean, there was some fighting going on, some bickering, because he already had a nutritionist that the Army provided him. So he didn't want to hear anything I had to say. He really didn't. So I really just was very persistent and just kept pestering.
No, so here's my side of the story. So my side of the story is, okay, men are very egotistical. Okay, so we're very self-centered. So she just started like, hey, do you even know what? I mean, you're like some kind of expert. Do you like know what undenizzed whey protein is? And I'm like, yeah. Shit, what is that? I'm like, you know, looking for trying to figure out what it is. And so, you know, she was very persistent, and, you know, at a certain point in time, I think I just made the realization that, you know, I was either going to have to explore what she had to completely, you know, debunk it and send her packing, or, you know, or learn what I learned. And, you know, and this is, you know, particularly for me, it was trying to figure out what the wealth opportunity was on the backside of this too. Like, I mean, aside from the body, you know, the benefits, nutritional benefits that we gain from it. It was, you know, how smart when you think about long-term investment, when you think about your retirement strategies, you think about like none of this, you know, we're okay. We're going to be fine. I'm going to get an Army retirement. It's going to be great. But, you know, yeah, if I want to like pay the mortgage and, you know, like drive just kind of an okay car and not be able to travel as much, I mean, that's great. But that's not the vision that we had. I mean, we have much bigger, loftier goals for ourselves and for our kids. And so for me, it was, you know, let me look into this. Let me read a little bit more and do some research. And then, I mean, you know, I immediately read 4-Year Career in like 10 minutes. And then I read, you know, GoPro. And as soon as I just caught the vision quickly after she kept, you know, being persistent with me. And so, you know, that's what I would say. I would say just, you know, play to the male ego a little. But you know, I made the decision early on that if this was going to work for us, I had to meet her halfway. because otherwise it was just going to be, we were going to be constantly, pulling at each other, and not, and going on separate journeys if I didn't make the decision to join her, and try to make this work for us. And best decision ever made.
Mm. And I love that, like, Clayton, there you go. So I think asking your man's opinion, your woman, Kelly and Tyler Dickerhoff, they're really big in the START group and couples and work a ton. And it was like, so often we start this and like, we don't necessarily like ask, quote unquote, they call it permission, but it's not necessarily asking permission. It's just kind of putting it out there. And, my husband, Michael, and I, we don't build it all together, but you guys wouldn't be in my life and my organization without Michael, right? Of sending the referral over. And so it's not that Michael and I build like one-on-one together or anything like that. But, I did sit him down. I was very serious with Michael when I said, I'm going to be a millionaire in this company and I am building this, babe. Like, like just take a look, like give me your opinion. Let me know, like, what do you think about this? Like, what do you think about this comp plan? And he did, and he sat down and he watched it. So at least he could see. And then I think anybody goes through that frustration. If you're used to getting someone's time and then something takes your time away, it's then that thing that took your time away can be the frustration point. So then it could be the frustration point because it's taking you from me, it's taking your time. But then when it's, communication, but it's so that, the long vision is so we can have more time and including goals and vision, even if it's not as much including in the Isagenix or the comp or the building, but still in lifelong goals and visions and paying off things or, investment strategies or, I really want to learn about like passive and residual income and really be smart about our financial future, and all those things can slowly do it. And, I've seen some spouses, in couples where it was a year, 2, 3 years down the road before somebody gets on board because that person was so persistent and laser focused with their goals of what it was going to do for their family. And so, everybody is different, but I would just say, get them in front of the information and go from it from that whole Eric Worre standpoint too of, the super indirect or the direct and, and then being involved in envisioning of like creating that future for yourself, at the very least. And I think that's great for kids and stuff too, because again, when they're used to having your time and then it goes away. So that would
well, and so the other thing I would say is we schedule income producing activities. Like we try to follow a schedule during the day. Some people are more rigid about it than others. I was talking to somebody today about it, and I don't know if I 100% agree with the kind of the negative approach to this, but I think you have to schedule time. I mean, if you're serious about this business, it is going to monopolize your time because you've got the vision and if you're passionate about it, right? You're not, somebody said if you're not tired, you're uninspired, right? Because you're hitting this vision as hard as you can. But I mean, we have to schedule time where we're going to be like, okay, we're going to put the phones down. We're going to focus on each other, just for however long that is. But I think you have to kind of schedule that out. And some folks will say, well, I shouldn't have to schedule time with my wife. I shouldn't have to make an appointment to see my wife or my husband. But I would disagree with that because I would say that I don't see that as a negative thing. I see that as a positive thing because you're willing to work on your relationship. You're willing to schedule that time because it's important in order to make this whole thing work long term. So I would definitely, I think that's a good idea.
And some days it might only be 15 minutes that we're eating dinner and we're like, okay, let's put the phone down for 15 minutes. But, we make the effort like, okay, let's talk for 5 minutes. 10 minutes of that is Aberrail talking. But, even if it's just 15 minutes a day, at least we tried to spend some time together. Doesn't happen every day.
I think date night, and something that somebody said too, from Angela Maresca, who, 2 kids, husband, she said, always in life, like, family first. But it's like when you communicate that this is for your family first, and then sometimes life happens, like you have to evaluate, so we've talked so much about, feeling good and just like, law of attraction and vibration, like being in moments and stuff now. But it's like, if you guys were not in this kind of action based on where your goals are and how fast you want to go and like what vision you see for yourself, it wouldn't feel good not to be in the amount of action that you guys are in, And so it's like, if you have a goal and a vision for yourself, like there has to be that alignment with how much goes into it, or there's going to be that disconnect and discord. And you guys are just the perfect. I mean, without a shadow, I know you guys are a 10 in every single area. you know, when you go through the beliefs, I mean, you guys are a 10, and some people can get to that 10 quicker. Kelly Dickerhuff said, you know, until I was a millionaire, I really wasn't a 10. I was about a 9 in some things until it like actually happened for me. But it's like, you know, in the products, in the industry, in the comp plan, you know, yourself, all of those things, you know, the company of Isagenix. And so getting yourself up there, and you guys, you know, because you immersed yourself, it was immersion in the books, in the podcast, in the CD, like all of that, you immersed yourself in it. And so I feel like your belief, you got to an event right off, you keep going back to events, local events, driving events, like whatever, like you're getting to the events, and you're just, that belief is just getting higher and higher in you. So where are you finding people? Do you just cold message people, groups, just connecting? What are you doing to find people?
Let me start.
Good.
First, I found my mom. I said, Mom, you're doing this. Then I found my husband and signed him up, even though he didn't want to pack. I said, I'm ordering this. So those were my first two. Consultant. And then I reached out to friends and family a little bit here and there. And then I just started posting on Facebook, and that's how I got most of my people. I mean, I enrolled someone that I just met on the cruise. So now that I'm more comfortable, I can talk to everybody. And I met someone on the cruise last week, and she enrolled on Thursday or Friday this week. So I'm just building my skills, and now I'm getting out of the comfort zone and enrolling people I don't know. But mostly mine is Facebook. So that's the approach I take.
You're talking to people.
So I would argue there's a progression. I think most people, they go with what's comfortable for them up front. So they're going to hit their family members, they're going to hit their brother, their sister, their mother, their aunt, uncle, grandparents, whatever it is. And so I kind of went through that progression too. I was looking out for the easy kills, for lack of a better way to put it. And then, but then what I realized was, then that kind of graduated into, because I was so excited, I'm like, hey, there's the lettuce lady in the grocery store. Let's go talk to her and see what she thinks, And I'm like, let me try this. And so I started trying it on people. I wanted to talk to everyone I knew about it. Which then progressed into what the way that I do this is, I have, I've been blessed with a large network because I'm 20 years in the Army. I've been all over the world. So I know a lot of people. Believe it or not, those are people that I did not reach out to, because mentally I thought, I go for what is going to be hard first. I mean, I'm just hard-headed like that. I'm like, if it's hard, yeah, that's what I'm trying first. So I came up immediately with, and I gotta give a shout out to Joe and Shanna Boggs for the work they do. I think Joe is one of the best trainers that we have in this crew. And I started picking from them, and I started learning how they approach social media, how they basically cold called, for lack of a better way to put it, on social media. And so I started on Facebook a little bit, but then I found that LinkedIn was a better source for me, based on my professional network and kind of the brand that I have, which is, I'm reaching a lot of veterans, and a lot of spouses and or family members of veterans, kind of my thing. And so LinkedIn has been a huge source for me. So all I did, it's no different. It's really not that much different than Facebook, other than the fact that I think it's got a more mature, for lack of a better way to put it, client base, that are easier to contact, and they're more likely to reach out, I think, than Facebook. That's just my experience. But I mean, there's plenty of business builders. Casey, obviously you build yours primarily through Facebook. I know all of us are trying like Instagram and everything else. I would argue that I've heard a couple people say it now, like kind of stick to what your thing is. Don't necessarily try to play the field on all of the social media platforms. But that's how I do it. I consistently post on my brands, which is oriented around fitness, leadership, motivation, and I kind of I use that combination throughout LinkedIn, Facebook, and kind of Instagram to generate that curiosity. And then I just follow. I mean, you can use scripts, you can use whatever you do, but I just basically follow kind of a profile. And once I get somebody to bite, basically the thing that I try to do is I just try to have a conversation with them. I mean, you heard it all. If you went to ICU, you heard it all weekend long. It's creating the connection, creating a conversation with somebody, not getting them, like I forget, she said, hey, we live in an HBD, world where we're just going to, instead of, sending a personal message, we just write happy birthday. I mean, I'm guilty of that. HBD, bro. And then it like nobody, I mean, what do you say back to that? Not, hey, happy birthday. I hope this is the best year you've ever had. What are you looking forward to this year? Just creating those connections in kind of a flow. Usually for me, it's about 3 to 4, maybe 5 kind of back and forths on the message before I go, hey, would you be interested in a phone call? And I just don't even I don't even send that. I immediately follow that with, what's a good time and number? And I try to get them to the phone as fast as possible. And again, as soon as I get them on the phone, I try to tell me your story. I probably spend, she always tells me this, I spend too much time on the phone. I'm trying right now to create a really strong connection with people. And that means I've got to let them talk more. And so I'll spend a lot of time in my upfront portion of my calls, just trying to figure out who they are, get to know them. How are they, a lot of my guys are injured. What have they gone through? What is, create that emotional connection. Do you have, a lot of times I'll ask them, do you have a special event coming up? What are your goals? What do you struggle with? Why are we talking today? What do you struggle with? So I can get through how to help them, how to reach out and create that emotion, that emotional connection to get them involved. And so far, I mean, we've been successful. That's really all we do it's just, it's not some special sauce. It's I suck something from everybody I know. I learn something. I pull something from everybody I come into contact with.
And apply it. That's you're an application. You're applying what you're learning and not just learning. And so it's, I'm watching it firsthand. How many people do you guys think that you're reaching out to a day?
Oh, man. So it ebbs and flows, but I mean, me personally, at least 20. Either follow-ups or new. I'll go on and I mean, I'd be surprised it doesn't. I mean, there's all those formulas out, 333, 555. I mean, you can use whatever you want to use, but I'm reaching out because again, it's just a law of attraction. I know we went through a period of time where I was frustrated. I used to get frustrated if I couldn't get somebody on the phone and enroll them right then. Like that's how passionate I was. I'm like, I have got to be good enough that with the minute, it's music to somebody's ears the minute I talk and they want to sign up. Like I would get mad at myself if I couldn't sign somebody up, but it ebbs and flows. You just got to stay consistent. You just have to stay consistent because like most of us know, the people that you connect with early on are watching. Somebody's watching you nonstop. Somebody's watching your posts. Somebody's watching, and eventually they're gonna muster up the courage to say, all right. And that's what happens to me. They're like, all right, man, I've been watching you post. What do you do? What is this? And then I'm like, let me tell you. So it just works.
Oh, it just doesn't sound like you guys are doing anything that's secretive. It just sounds like you guys are doing it. There's not you
Just do it every day.
Just do it.
Just do it every day. And, it's like, you see the guys, oh my gosh, well, I suck because I'm not doing that. But it's you said, okay, well, I had built up a network for, 20 something years and we're this spot in our life where this is what we're focused on. Or, maybe we don't have, 5 kids at home versus, a child at home and one in college or something like that. And so it's taking yourself, but it's, again, you guys are aligned with where your goals are and how fast you want to go with this type of action. And so I'm just, everybody really think about like, where do I want myself? Like, what is my goal? What is my amount? Like, what does that take? So then that you can get aligned in with your action and be feeling really good that you're in action. Cause again, we don't even have to be that immediately like starting out with getting the ball rolling. Like it's, absolutely. We're going to celebrate results and everything like that, but no results happen if action's not there. If we're not working on ourselves, working on our, our belief, working on our thoughts, applying the things that we're learning, like that's what's going to create all the results too. And so you guys are just doing it so amazing. And I know I'm going to let you, and Isaiah, do you feel like that answered your question? How do you pop it cold turkey to people you haven't talked to in forever? Did you feel like he answered that or touch more on it? So how do you pop the question or how do you pop it cold turkey to people you haven't talked to in forever? Or do you still focus on building that? You're rekindling the connection first.
So some of them are like those birthday. I mean, again, birthday, change of job, whatever it is. I would just reach out. I personally, to date, have not just gone in. Like I said, I went for what is the hardest. I wanted to go somewhere that a resource was not going to dry up on me. So that I still have a huge network that I have not even tapped into of people that I know. because I wanted to generate a system. I wanted to be capable of generating a system that would give me consistent context, a methodology that I could rely on long term of how to do it. So because of that, I have literally not cold contacted anybody on my list since the day that I've gotten in. Now, saying that, how would I do it? It would just be, I would present the opportunity, negotiate from a position of strength. I have something amazing. It has changed my life. I really feel like I need to share this with you. If you would be open to it, some more information, let's get in contact. It's something as simple as that. Don't make it weird. Don't make it just be like, hey, I've got something really cool, and I thought of you because I know you, and I'd like to get you in on this thing, early. Simple. That's how I would do it.
Right. And that's what I do. Like, I put a lot of my time into contacting people for strictly business building opportunity. I don't even talk about the products. I'm just like, hey, people I've known for 20 years. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. I was a nurse. You're a nurse. My friend Casey was a nurse. Like, you need to take a look at what I'm doing. And I'll just contact them out of the blue. I haven't talked to them in years, and tell them what I'm doing, and just try and get them on a phone call with Casey.
Now, the only ones I would say would qualify as that are people that I've run into in the gym that look at me and they're like, man, you look awesome. How old are you? Like, what are you doing? And those are the people I'll be like, see this cup? Like, let me tell you what I'm doing. Always carry a piece of swag on you that has Isagenix on it. It's a conversation piece. So I have done that.
Love it. Application of just what it is that you've been learning. It can't be that simple. Can't be. So, but again, it is that decision of just doing the do. And, something that you stuck out too was just like your niches is that you talked about, Randall, too, of like, how you kind of go. And Shanna, I know you and I talked about this too, as far as like, do you have an idea? I know Jennifer Trinkner is laser focused on her avatar. She calls it. She's like, I know what my avatar is, and I post for my avatar. And she's really specific on who she wants to attract in her business. Laura Stevens was talking about that too. Like, I'm not trying to get everybody or be everything to everyone. I'm really focused on like, what my strengths are and who I want to attract. And so, just finding those niches for you. And I'll post the video when I post this call. There was a great call about just branding, of just finding that. So then you can start targeting that. Because again, those are your strengths and that's what you're going to be posting about. And so that, and I'm also going to be posting, I want to start really taking it back to the basics of really like, your 30-second story for your price. So when you get on a call, you share a snippet and then you hush, and you listen and you let people tell you, why are we even having this conversation? Like, where are you? Like, what are your struggles right now? Why are we on the call? I love that. What are you struggling with? Because they're going to let you know which solution to really paint the vision for them that this is. And so, if we have just that 30-second story snippet, then we can hush it, ask questions, and listen. And that was something that every single leader talked about too, was really asking questions and listening. So I'm going to post both of those for us. And I'm going to let you, do you guys have any celebrations that you want to do for your team while you're unmuted?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do I?
Yeah, of course we do.
Well, I definitely want to celebrate Megan and Hannah and my aunts and my cousins and Jennifer and my team for coming to ISAU, because that is a huge, leaving your family for a couple of days. That's a big deal. It's a sacrifice, but they all have goals and visions like we do. So they made it up there. So that was awesome. And I want to give a shout out to Tom and his lovely wife, because they have been our biggest cheerleaders since day one. They're always supporting us, supporting our posts, and we really appreciate Tom.
We love you, Tom and Stacy.
Yeah, there they are. Hey, yeah, awesome. Yeah, it was really cool to just think about Carissa and Cindy, being able to get, their first really big event, and they got recognized on stage right away. That's huge. Just to get that, and of course,
Cindy hit Crystal director while we were at ICU.
Yeah.
So that was
huge.
Big stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then I saw, Hannah just got her ultimate pack. Christmas, arrived at her house, so that's pretty cool. So it's just we got a lot of momentum going right now. We're hugely blessed with the people we've been surrounded with, and they're a bunch of rock stars. So you talk about our success, but it's really, from a leadership perspective, it is absolutely our team's crushing it. We wouldn't be where we're at without the help of them, and of course the leaders go first, Casey. So we appreciate it.
Dude, you guys inspire me to just be more and do more. I tell you, it's just it's been amazing watching you guys. And like you said, though, it's collective, right? It's team effort. Do you, Megan? Do you want to share like a takeaway that you had from being at the event? Do you have a takeaway that you want to share?
I was on mute.
Yeah, just
Well,
one
I did.
takeaway.
Yeah, I'm just calling you out.
I
First voice message. You're there.
yeah, one voice message. ATM, seriously, they just, add them to the group, tag them in a post that you think would resonate with them, and then get them in a message with somebody that could really have a similar story to them. So that way they can share. And if you know your 30-second story like the back of your hand, click a voice message and send it over so that they can really hear your conviction and your passion and how these products like changed your life. So that ATM just kind of really was something that you could put into action right away.
Love it, love it, love it. You're rocking and rolling them abs. If you guys haven't seen Megan's post of her 16-week transformation, those abs are redonkulous. So she has inspired us all to get some hot diggity dog abs. So I'm trying to see who else. Hannah, girl, you're brand new on the products, doing a shake day one. And the next thing I know, Megan and I do a call with you to ask you if you're, 1, 2, or 3 referrals, products paid for, opportunity. And you're already booked for your event. Like what?
I was a 10 at that point. She said, I'm really glad that I went, and I learned a lot. There's definitely been some bumps along the road, even in a week. I tried to send my first voice message today, and I got cut off at a minute. I need to get that quicker and shorter like Megan's. Hers is like 20 seconds, which is perfect. But, I really think connecting with people where they are is something that I learned, instead of talking so much about myself, because in the beginning you're so excited and you just want to go tell it on the mountain, and you have to keep your mouth closed and your ears open. I'm learning a lot. So there's a lot of amazing people out there to take note from.
No doubt, right? That's all we do. We just learn from somebody, find somebody who's achieved what you want, and then just learn from them. And there's so many people. Let's see. We have another one. Mandy, what was the takeaway for you? There we go. You're unmuted.
Wow. I had a couple. I really liked the ad tag message. But really, gosh, I'm trying to think back. It really hit me that I needed to stop getting in my own way. Like Jessica Regner said, my ego is not my amigo. So, I need to get out of my own way, and I need to be not firm, but I need to be maybe blunt is what I'm thinking. If I have a friend who has been on the products for 2 months and she hasn't seen any results. And so I really just need to say, be honest with yourself. What's going on? What are you doing? So I need to not worry so much about, sounding like a mean person or, making them upset, because we do need to be honest with ourselves, and we do need to, have those moments where we just really need to reflect on it and look at it and say, yeah, you're right. I haven't been doing so well. And then I think it was also Jessica, I forgot who said it, but it was one of those, hey, that's this, and there's systems, and there's, pack for weight wellness or pack for this, and the opportunity too, but you don't have to do that. And if I'm not sure about it, then they're not going to be sure about it. So I need to be more confident when I present all of the different options, all of the different solutions that Isagenix has to offer.
Love it. Yes, that was Laura Stevens when she was like, Laura Stevens shared her
That's
story.
it.
And she's like, yeah, I, was doing my launch parties and everything. And she started like for the business. And then she tried to, she did her whole thing. And then she's like, but you don't have to do the, do the opportunity part. And then her friend, Callie, she was like, you are lying to me. Like you started for the opportunity. Like it was going to help you. Like, why are you hiding that from people? And she's like, you're right. And then she's just merged them, right? Like obviously every single one of us is, I imagine, on this call, not just for the products, but for like the opportunity side too. So, you don't have to shove it down somebody's throat or like push it, but it's like, at least let them make the decision for themselves. Let them make the decision for themselves. Whereas I just saw Melina, I was about to unmute you. Can't. Oh, there's Tom and Stacy. All right, we're winding down. What's a takeaway that you guys had? Tom, that was your first event. Hold on, I can't unmute you. Can you unmute yourself? There you go.
Yeah.
What was one takeaway that you guys had from the event?
I think the biggest takeaway that I had is you kind of like what Mandy said. Get out of your own damn way. And also probably the bigger picture is when we first started into this, I was kind of sitting back, just, I'm doing, hey, I'm getting myself in shape. You're running the business, and that's not the way it's got to work. I mean, we both got to go at it full steam ahead. And I think like Randall and LaDonna were saying, the competition thing, that hits key with us because we're shitty with competition. We just go at it. So
No, we're not shitty with competition.
We're shitty with each other with competition.
We are competition. Like that motivates us.
So find that with your spouse. If it's competition, then drive that home, right? So, well, I know that when you go to those guys, you just leave so fired up. Lindsay just said, okay, what is the voice message that you guys are speaking of? Okay, so the voice message is, and like, how we're always texting? Well, you guys really do think about it. 7% of communication is words. That's like 7% is the actual words you're speaking to somebody. There, the rest is inflection, tone, all these things, expressions. That creates the rest. Like how you can have just a complete, you can communicate with somebody that speaks a completely different language with them based on those things. And so like when you're messaging somebody or you're talking or you're trying to invite somebody, like voice message it. Stop being the HBD culture, standing for happy birthday, trying to be short and not have connections and relationships. Anybody that's seen Alex Hoffman training, like this is a relationship business. And if you can voice message people things, and we're going to do more training on that for sure, then that's the power of it, right? So just really, instead of doing text, doing voice messages. And then two, if you do a voice message on your phone with follow-up, you can actually see if it goes away. I don't know how y'all Droid users live, but I know on the iPhone that when you do a voice message, even text message wise, you can see that, if it's been listened to as well too. So even like a follow-up. So, but we are going to do some exact training. Casey, sunscreen. I know. I didn't know I was going to work outside today. It just kind of happened. I just couldn't come inside, and then I forgot because I wasn't going to lay out. So it happens. All right. Yes. Hope that went through. Exactly. You just know. So there are some like contests and things coming up too, as far as with Isagenix, as far as, I don't know, contest. That's Brandon's like, yes, contest, competition. Like the bedtime belly buster group thing challenge. I guess challenge is a better word than contest. Isagenix will. Every year that I have been here, they have done like a derby championship type cruise. So for you competitive people, there will be another one. I am sure of that happening, that you can jump on and join and dominate. And so let's see, Kramer, do you want to talk about I know that as far as in the Health in Action that we're going to be doing some stuff, and then anybody get your who you want to celebrate.
Yes, I'm going to talk just real quick about this. So, you guys are all coming off ICU. Everybody's super pumped. And obviously with the springtime, summer coming and the belly buster challenges, we are going to do in the Health in Action group, it's called the Spring into Summer Slim Down. It's going to be a 30-day challenge, and we're going to put details. I'm just going to run through it real quick. It's going to be May 14th through June 12th. We are going to have some holidays in there, but if you're committed, it's just a day. So capiche for those. It's going to be open to everyone. We're going to keep it super simple. It's all going to be in the Health and Action group. We're going to create a flyer, and we can use those to make our posts. And we're going to do the 30-day challenge, and then incorporate that with a bedtime belly buster. So if they order the 30-day system plus they get the bedtime belly buster, there's going to be 2 separate prizes for that. And the transformation posts are going to be right in the group. We're just going to make a transformation post at the end, and just everybody that is participating and wants to be qualified to win, they have to drop their post in there. So everything's just going to be super simple, and it's all going to be kept in the Health and Action page. So, everybody can see what's going on. If, FOMO hits them, like, oh, what am I missing out? Stuff like that. So, and anybody who wants to help participate with like posts and maybe like some workouts, recipes, stuff like that, just, we're not going to have like a super strict schedule, but just get with like me or Amanda or Shanna. We kind of all Zoomed about it today just to get on the same page to keep it in the Health and Action group. And I think that's pretty much it. That's just like the nuts and bolts of it. Like I said, we're going to get the flyer done and the details, but it's going to be simple. We're just going to keep it simple, and we just want to get the hype. We're going to have 2 weeks. Today's the 30th. We're going to start it May 14th. So we're going to have 2 weeks to get the hype going and get everybody in the group and stuff like that. So it'll just be fun.
It will be. And then I know too, for people that are starting on then, and then I know later on Isagenix does is doing like a company-wide bedtime belly buster thing that then we can tackle on as far as with those people who've started, just again, to help our people and curiosity and just kind of keep those campaigns going. So do you want to share anything, Melina, about anything or a nugget, or does anybody have any celebrations that they want to shout out for? I know, Nicole, you enrolled somebody while you were at ICU too. So did you, Carissa. It's so fun.
Yes, I would love to share. So I love Laura Stevens, and, she just, spoke to my heart when I was at ICU, and she was this, we cannot make the decision for people. The opportunity, we all too often, we're not leading with a value pack. I'm doing this myself, so I'm guilty just the same, and not leading with the opportunity. And, we have our map to executive sheets printed out now, and every time we talk to somebody, we're presenting that. They deserve to see how much money that this company can give them, and not have that decision made for them, and not waiting a week to start talking opportunity. But we're planting the seeds, but we're not talking the way that we should be. And we want to become executive creators. We want to be an executive that creates executives. So that's our goal. And I would love to give a shout out, if that's okay, to Mandy and Tori, and I know they're on here, and these girls went to ICU Philly with me, and we are back. We are so on fire, and you guys, the world is, Mandy and Tori both committed to sprinting to executive. It was amazing. And I met Megan. Megan is a new friend, and I just adore her. She's amazing. And, love helping. I just love pouring into people, and I just love it. I just love it. So we have so many people on our team in the yacht club that are sprinting to executive because of Tori and Mandy. It's just beautiful. The vibration is everywhere.
And Melina, it took you, obviously you started, Steph, and, we're like, oh yeah, get rid of it and all these things. And, but then before you went, like, what changed for you? Or like, what would you even say about like this ICU, or just like, what would you say about events? Or if you think that you don't have the time, or you can't go, or you can't invest into it, like how critical is it for what you've seen success for yourself, for your team? Like,
yeah, and that was me. I was the one, I didn't need to go to an event, and I went to Celebration in August, and I did, my first event was a Super Saturday, but going to Celebration was pivotal for me because I was able to see people just like me who massively changed their lives. Being stuck in a situation thinking that we were always going to be in a certain place, but all these people did was they had the desire, and they dropped their excuses, and they found their why. You got to dig deep. You got to find your why. What fuels your fire? But going to an event with your team and watching that fire be lit for them and giving them hope is the most beautiful thing in the world. And I saw that with Tori and Mandy, and that, you know, and I saw that with my sister at Celebration, you guys. And I mean, we change lives, you know, this isn't shakes. This isn't a product, you know, and I am so firm now leading with the opportunity because I know what this opportunity can do for families and for our society. And I am like, let's go.
I would say your sister caught the vision. She turned executive and was enrolling people, and the same day she pushed out a baby. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how more vision attached you can be than that. So, all right, guys, so I'm going to put this recording in the group, and this is what I'm going to share right here. Share your story. It has ideas. Work on your 30-second story. We're going to practice them. It's going to be back to basics. If you can't practice with your Isagenix family, what are you going to do? So this is something, work on this. If you have it, great. I'm refining mine. Like, this is something, right, that it's keeping it simple, the basics, because we're going to be going over some voice messaging stuff, all the things that we learn, and really just action with all the goodness coming. So, all right, I will get it posted and recorded. If nobody has anything else they want to celebrate or say, I know we went an hour, so thank you, everybody who shared your takeaway, and thank you, Randall and LaDonna, for sharing all those nuggets with us. And I agree, Joe and Shanna, Life with No Block Training, you guys are absolutely amazing and offered us so much value. So looking forward to the contests and the groups and just blessing a lot of people. So, all right, happy birthday, Morgie. Yay. All right, everybody. Night, guys.
All right. Night. Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
I don't know what this.
Good night.